Okay, hello. I was just sitting around doing some videos to clear my head, and I was looking at my piercing and thinking about the story behind it because it's kind of a funny story. I got it mixed up, and it was just a little funny, a little interesting. So I thought I would share it with you guys. Since PJ won't be here for a couple minutes yet. So, that afternoon, I went to my 1 o'clock class, and right after that, I had an oil change. And I had been hanging out with PJ in between classes. I picked him up for the oil change, and after the oil change, he looked at me. He's like, "Do you still want to get piercings?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I still want to get piercings. What are you talking about? Of course." And what I had in mind at first was the daith piercing, which is on the inside of the ear, like right there. And it's a little hoop, and it's cute, and I love the look of it. So, we Google Maps it from the auto center that I was at. And we first go to, I can't remember what the first one was, but we go to one first. And it was appointment only, apparently. We call a piercer, and I'm like, "What's your nearest appointment?" And it didn't work out for us, and PJ just said, "Let's go to this other one." And I'm like, "Okay, like, I'll look at my schedule real quick." And then I never called him back, which I feel a little bit bad about. But we had been looking at this other one for a while now. And we actually called them before, and they were not by appointment. It was walk-ins. So, we walked up to the place, we parked across the street, and on the door was the sign. We require masks. One person enters only. And I look at him, and he looks at me. I'm like, "What do we do?" He's like, And I tell him, I'm like, "How about you go in first, please, because I suck at talking to people, and maybe figure this out a little bit, because I'm too nervous." So he went in first, and I followed right after him, completely ignoring the sign. And he walks in, there's some people tattooing, the piercers just standing around, and they all look at us, they're just like, "Oh, hi," and we're like, "Hey, could we, like, get a piercing?" And they're like, "Oh, for sure." Piercer comes up, really nice lady, I loved her so much, and she was cash only. PJ just had his card, he didn't have much cash on him, so we filled out our paperwork. She printed our license on the paper. We answered all the questions. For anyone who doesn't know, when you get a piercing, you have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. Well, not a bunch of paperwork. It was a page just asking if you had allergies, any medication you were taking that might thin your blood, if you were pregnant, stuff like that. And then you had to sign and date it. And she printed, obviously, a picture of our driver's license to prove that we were 18 or over 18. And after that, PJ had to go to an ATM. So I was first up to get my piercing. We walk in, and she's like, "Which ear are you thinking about?" I'm like, "Maybe my left one." Like, "My left ear." And she starts poking around and messing with it, and she's like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can do this on you. For your safety, like, your ears are a little bit too small. I don't think I can do this." And I'm like, "Okay, totally understandable. I don't want to get an infection or like a crooked piercing or anything, so totally cool. Totally understand. I have weird, tiny ears." And she's like, "Are there any other piercings you were thinking about getting?" And I'm like, "Well, I was thinking about a tongue piercing for a while, but I thought I might save the tongue not for my first piercing, like facial piercing." So I was like, I was thinking about a lip one for a while. So maybe we could do that one. She's like, all right, cool. Because, I mean, you just clamp it. If my lip was too small, that would be a little weird, but she does the dot. I go to the mirror. I like where it is and everything. She puts the clamp on me. She's like, this is going to be the worst part is the clamp. And all I feel, because I close my eyes because I have a thing with needles. All I feel is the needle just going inside my lip. That's all I felt. It wasn't much of a pain. It was just more of, I felt it going into my lip. And I had my eyes closed the entire time kind of thing. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yep, I'm fine. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna put the jewelry in and then you're done. And I was just so nervous. I looked in the mirror after she got it done, and I was like, oh, I love this. And I peeked outside the door a little bit to see if PJ was back or not, because he thought I was getting my ear pierced too. I look at the door, and he's standing there. It was just a little gap, so he couldn't see me, but I could see him. And she's like, well, let's go show him. I'm like, okay. She walks out. She's like, change of plans. And I come from behind her, and I'm like, hi. I got my lip pierced. And he's like, he smiles. His little smile. He looked a little bit excited. And he's like, I like it. And I'm like, oh my god. I thought he was gonna freak out. I was so nervous he was gonna look at me and be like, what did you do to your face? But no. He just smiled and he liked it. And then after that, I played with her Chucky dolls, because I forgot to say that her room was basically one big Halloween store. Like, she had skeletons and she had cobwebs. She had Chucky dolls. Chucky dolls. I'm sorry. My favorite, what is it called? Holiday? My favorite holiday is Halloween. It's amazing. So I was freaking out a little bit when I got in there and I saw that it was basically just one big Halloween room with cobwebs and skeletons and Chucky and the Bride of Chucky, and I was super hyped. She was super cool, super nice. And after my piercing, we just got PJ's piercing, which is just the basic ear piercing that he has on his left earlobe. And he bled a lot when he did that. Mine didn't bleed as much as his did. But it was a great experience, and I'm gonna have to put the place's name below somewhere, because they were amazing. They were so nice. She was just, I loved her. She was great and super nice, and just it was an amazing experience over there. And before people say I didn't do my research, I did my research. I Facebook stalked them, and I looked at reviews, and I saw their pictures that they had up on there, and if I don't feel comfortable going to a place after looking at reviews and stuff, I don't go there. But we had been looking at this place for a while. So, we did our research, we looked up stuff, and that's how I got my lip piercing. The little swollen, I feel kind of like a Kardashian or someone who just got their lips filled, because, I mean, it feels bigger than it's supposed to be. It feels like I got some lip fillers on the left side and they forgot about the right side and they forgot about the left side. But loved the place, loved the people, and that's how I got my lip piercing. I hope you guys enjoyed, and you have a great day.